Okay. Have you ever poured like everything into a social media post?
Mm.
You craft the perfect caption, find just the right image, you hit publish, and then crickets. Just absolutely nothing.
Oh, yeah, that feeling.
Right. No likes, no comments, almost like it just vanished. It's that feeling of doing everything right, everything you normally do, but your posts just aren't reaching anyone.
Hmm.
And it's unsettling because your account looks totally normal from the outside. There's no warning message, nothing telling you something's off, but your results just quietly collapse.
Exactly. It's like shouting into the void sometimes.
That's exactly what we're diving into today, this incredibly frustrating experience. Our mission here is to unpack this whole mysterious world of shadow banning.
Right.
What is it? How does it even work? How can you spot it? And most importantly, what can you do about it to protect your online presence? We're going to focus a bit on platforms like LinkedIn too, because, well, the professional stakes there can be pretty high. We've pulled together insights from several recent articles and expert takes on this quiet phenomenon. It's impactful, but so hard to pin down.
It really is.
That feeling of your content just poof, gone. It's so weird. But okay, to even start tackling it, we need to get clear on what we're actually dealing with. So what exactly is this thing we call shadow banning?
Well, basically, shadow banning is when a platform limits your content's reach, but they do it without telling you.
Sneaky.
Yeah, think of it like being put in a sort of digital timeout. When it happens, your post might not show up in your connections feeds, your engagement just tanks, likes, comments, shares, all down.
Uh-huh.
And your profile views can take a pretty big hit, too.
A digital timeout. I like that. Because
Right.
the really insidious part is how subtle it all is, isn't it?
Exactly. Your account, it's still active. Your posts, they still go live technically. But behind the scenes, the platform is quietly throttling how many people actually find or see or engage with what you're sharing.
So it feels like your content is just being swallowed by a black hole, even though it's still there somewhere.
Precisely. It exists, but it's hidden. And look, while some people debate if it's called shadow banning by the platforms themselves, the effect is definitely real.
Right.
Platforms like Instagram, Twitter, or X, now Facebook, and yeah, definitely LinkedIn too, they acknowledge that their algorithms can suppress content, usually if it violates guidelines or behaves suspiciously.
Okay.
And often this happens without any, explicit warning or notification. It's kind of their way of managing the platform quietly.
Okay, so knowing what it is, that's step one. But then the really crucial thing is figuring out how we might, accidentally trigger it. If it's real and platforms are quiet about it, what specific actions actually land us in that digital timeout?
Right, that's the key question. There are a few common culprits. First up is content violations. Pretty straightforward, right? Posting stuff that's offensive, harmful, maybe totally irrelevant or just not professional, particularly on LinkedIn. But it's not always that blatant. It also includes content that just kind of brushes up against the community guidelines.
Ah, the gray areas.
Exactly, like using sensitive language, certain flagged words, or maybe topics the algorithm just sees as risky, even if your intent was fine.
So it's not always about deliberately breaking rules, but maybe stumbling into something the algorithm flags as ambiguous. How sensitive are these things? Could a new phrase or something trendy accidentally set it off?
It absolutely could.
Yeah.
These algorithms are often tuned to be quite sensitive, partly to fight actual bad stuff like spam bots or disinformation campaigns.
Okay, so there's a reason for the sensitivity, even if it catches normal users sometimes.
Right. Which leads to the next big trigger.
Yeah.
Behavior that looks spammy, even if it's not.
Like what?
Like excessive posting.
Yeah.
On LinkedIn, specifically, posting, say, more than a couple of times per day can sometimes raise a flag.
Wait, hang on. More than twice a day on LinkedIn. That actually feels kind of low, doesn't it? Given how much stuff is flying around. Is there a magic number, or is it more about the quality within those posts?
It's definitely more about quality and consistency, not just raw numbers. Suddenly flooding the feed after being quiet for ages, that could look like bot activity.
Ah, okay. Consistency over volume.
Exactly. Then there's hashtag overload, using way too many hashtags, especially if they're random or maybe risky, or even using known banned hashtags that can kill your visibility.
Banned hashtags. People should probably check those first then.
Definitely do a quick search. And then there's the artificial engagement stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Using engagement pods or automated tools to like and comment, mass following or unfollowing people, basically anything repetitive that doesn't look human.
Right, the stuff that feels fake.
Yeah. And even just copying and pasting the exact same comment everywhere or sharing the identical video across tons of accounts, that can flag you too.
Okay.
And then finally, sometimes it's just the algorithm gets it wrong. Algorithmic misinterpretation.
Oh, great.
Yeah, might mistake your genuine content for like AI-generated spam. Or maybe you're trying out a cool new video format and the platform just doesn't know what to do with it yet.
Huh.
Even stuff like switching devices or IP addresses too often, if it looks bot-like, can sometimes cause issues.
That algorithmic misinterpretation thing is honestly kind of unsettling. If you're trying to be creative, maybe use a new style and it gets flagged just because the machine is confused.
Yeah.
Is there anything you can even do about that? Or do you just have to, like, stop experimenting? Seems like a real tension there.
It absolutely is a tension. And unfortunately, there isn't really a button you can press to teach the algorithm directly. It often takes time for user behavior patterns to shift or for the platform itself to update how it understands new types of content.
So you might just have to be patient or adapt.
Okay, good.
So if the platforms aren't sending out nice little warning messages,
Uh,
how do you actually know? How do you spot this quiet suppression if you suspect you're in that digital timeout?
Yeah, it's tricky because it's subtle, but you're looking for patterns, usually a sudden drop that then stays low. It's not just one bad post.
Okay, so consistency is key, but in a bad way here.
Right. Key indicators. A really dramatic drop in engagement. Suddenly your posts just stop getting the usual likes, comments, shares, like they fall off a cliff.
Mm-hmm.
You'll also likely see very low impressions or reach. Basically, your content just isn't showing up in feeds nearly as much. Fewer eyeballs on it.
So if I usually get, I don't know, 100 likes, and suddenly I'm getting 5, and it stays at 5 for days or weeks, that's a potential red flag, not just an off day.
Exactly. That sustained drop is suspicious. Another sign is a decrease in profile views. Fewer people are clicking through to check you out.
Makes sense.
And if you use hashtags, check if your posts are actually showing up under those tags. You might need to use like a friend's account or an incognito browser window to check properly.
Good.
Sometimes your followers might even tell you. They might say, hey, I haven't seen your stuff lately, or that they had to actively search for your profile to find your updates.
Wow, okay. Direct feedback.
Yeah. And one more subtle one, your comments on other people's posts might start disappearing without explanation, or maybe they just get buried really quickly.
Huh. That's specific.
It is. But here's the big caveat. It's really important to remember that not every drop in engagement is shadow banning.
Right? Don't jump to conclusions.
Exactly. Algorithm changes happen all the time. Your content quality might have genuinely dipped. Audience behavior shifts. All those things can impact performance too. For LinkedIn specifically, look for signs like your posts not reaching people as suggested content or not showing up well in search results on the platform.
Okay, that's a really important reality check. So we've defined it, we know the triggers, we know the signs. But what does this actually mean for people listening, especially if, social media is crucial for their job, their business, their brand? This isn't just about vanity numbers feeling bad, is it?
Oh, not at all. The consequences can be really significant and honestly deeply frustrating. For content creators, it just completely derails your momentum. It's not like a big, loud failure. It's more like this slow, quiet fade where everything you post just fizzles, even stuff that used to work well. And for businesses, influencers, anyone relying on this for leads or awareness, it can mean fewer sales, obviously, diminished brand awareness, lost opportunities for collaborations or sponsorships. If your brand suddenly seems inactive, you can lose credibility and trust too.
And that feeling of just not knowing why, not knowing what you did wrong or why all your effort is suddenly invisible, I can only imagine the psychological impact. It must feel really isolating.
It truly is. Beyond the practical business impact, the psychological and emotional effects are huge.
Yeah.
It leads to feelings of isolation, yeah, but also intense frustration, uncertainty.
You start second-guessing everything.
Totally. It causes real psychological stress, and it can seriously decrease your motivation to even bother posting anymore. That uncertainty just eats away at your confidence.
And what's worse, if it goes on for a while and isn't addressed, that prolonged period of low interaction can actually cause the algorithm to deprioritize your account, even after the shadow ban might technically be lifted. It could have long-term effects.
Wow. Okay, so, all right, this is the crucial part, the bit we all really need. How can we stay on the good side of these algorithms? And maybe more urgently for some, what do we do if we suspect we're already caught in this? How do we take back some control?
Okay, let's break it down. For prevention, the biggest thing is focusing on posting high-quality, relevant content, stuff that's genuinely informative, engaging for your audience.
Makes sense. Value first.
Exactly. Keep it professional, especially on LinkedIn. informative, helpful. Try to stay, let's say, within the platform's comfort zone, meaning, clean, clear, platform-appropriate stuff.
That phrase, platform's comfort zone, is interesting. It sounds like a lot of prevention boils down to kind of playing it safe. But what about creators who want to discuss maybe more edgy or controversial but still professional topics on LinkedIn? Are they just inherently at higher risk, or are there ways to navigate that carefully?
That's a great question. It means you have to navigate very carefully. You might need to frame your points more deliberately, maybe use softer language, anticipate how an algorithm might interpret certain keywords. It is a higher risk, but not impossible.
Okay, careful framing. What else for prevention?
Engage authentically, like actually interact genuinely with people in your network. Focus on real conversations, not using automated tools or spammy tactics like mass liking.
Be a human.
Basically, yeah. And moderate your hashtag use. Don't just stuff your post full of them. Stick to a few highly relevant ones. And like we said, avoid banned hashtags, do that quick check. Limit your posting frequency too. Remember, on LinkedIn, maybe more than twice a day can be a flag. It's better to have a steady, consistent flow than a sudden flood followed by silence.
Right.
And if you've been away for a while, ease back in. Gradually increase your posting frequency. Don't just dump a week's worth of content at once.
Good advice.
And for LinkedIn specifically, try to use native content whenever possible. Post your updates, your images, your videos directly onto LinkedIn, rather than constantly sharing external links that take people off the platform. The algorithm tends to prefer stuff that keeps users engaged right there.
Okay, native content preference. That's a useful specific tip for LinkedIn users. Now, what about recovery? If you think, uh-oh, this might be happening to me.
Right, recovery steps. First, and this might sound counterintuitive, but maybe pause posting for a bit.
Yeah.
Like, take a break for a week or two.
Really, stop posting.
Yeah. Use that time to actually engage deeply with other people's content instead. Show the algorithm you're an active, engaged member of the community, not just broadcasting.
Interesting. Okay, pause and engage. Then what?
Then, review your recent content really closely. Look at your last few posts. Was there anything that could have been misinterpreted? Sensitive keywords, content that looks repetitive, maybe even potential copyright issues you missed?
Do a content audit.
Exactly. Check your hashtags and caption style too. Maybe try switching up your hashtags, remove any that aren't super relevant, simplify your captions, just change things up a bit.
Okay.
Diversify your content mix. If you've only been posting text updates, try adding images, videos, maybe share a document. Keep your profile looking dynamic and varied.
Mix it up.
Yeah. Then, when you feel ready to post again, maybe test the waters with a simple low-stakes post, something straightforward that follows all the best practices. And just monitor its performance carefully. See if visibility starts to creep back up.
Like a test balloon.
Kind of, yeah. And look, while it's not always super effective, it doesn't hurt to reach out to platform support. Contact LinkedIn support, create a case, explain the situation calmly, especially if you genuinely believe it was a mistake by the algorithm.
Worth a shot, maybe.
It is. And finally, while you're dealing with this on one platform, make sure you're still connecting with your audience elsewhere if possible. Through your email list, other social media channels. Don't put all your eggs in one potentially shadowban basket.
Good point. Keep other channels warm. So the big question then, can this actually be reversed? Or once you're in the timeout corner, are you stuck there?
No, absolutely. In many cases, it can be reversed. Shadow banning is usually temporary. It might last anywhere from a few days to a few weeks. Patience really is key here.
Okay, that's reassuring.
And just to be clear, again, this is different from being fully banned or blocked. Your account is still active. People can still find you if they search directly, but your reach is significantly reduced.
Right. Reduced visibility, not total removal. Okay. So there you have it. Shadow banning, it's definitely real. It's definitely frustrating, a real challenge in this digital world we navigate. But hopefully, by understanding the nuances we've talked about, what triggers it, how to spot the signs, and importantly, how to respond, you really can take steps to protect and, if needed, restore your online presence.
Exactly. By understanding what causes it and taking those proactive preventative steps, you can shield your accounts and hopefully maintain that crucial visibility you need.
You know, what's really fascinating about all this when you step back is just how much these unseen algorithms are dictating our digital reach, who sees what we put out there. And it raises this pretty important question, I think. In a world where our content's visibility can be quietly suppressed, sometimes without us even knowing why, how much true control do we actually have over our online presence? And how does knowing that potentially shape the content we choose to share? or maybe how we choose to share it. Something to think about. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive today.